I want to talk about just making a 2% change versus a 50% change. A lot of people start out in life or in the new year and they're like, man, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to stop eating cake. I'm going to stop eating ice cream. I'm going to run 20 miles a day and I'm going to change everything. And then by January 4th, we're like, I'm starving and I can't feel my knees because I'm running with shoes that I've had since 1923. So what I'm finding out with a lot of the people that I'm working with is these smaller changes are so much better than the bigger changes. And it's very similar to like if you're on a flight, like if you're on a plane and the plane is on a flight from Los Angeles to New York. And that's the goal. We're getting to New York. And if the pilot adjusts the flight path by just 2%, we're not going to notice the change immediately. You're not take off from LA and then you're going and then 2% change. That's not how that works. You take off from LA and you just move a little bit. And then eventually what happens is you find yourself when the plane lands, you're looking out the window and you're like, golly, where are we? This is Washington, D.C. I bought a ticket. And then someone videoed you losing your mind because you bought a ticket to New York and you ended up in DC. Well, what's significant about that is this tiny adjustment that the pilot made was completely changed the trajectory of that plane and it made it land in DC. And the same is true with us. Like, for example, for me, I post a lot and a lot of people, like I can't get up at 4 a.m. And I'm not asking people to get up at 4 a.m. Like when I coach my clients, I literally talked to somebody yesterday and I said, I think it'd be great if you got up at 10:45. Like I'm not coaching people to be like Michael Head. This has been incremental changes over time that have gotten me to be where I'm at. And I'm not where I want to be. I haven't landed in New York. I haven't landed in DC. I still have a lot of things that I want to reach and different goals that I have set for myself. But I know this, a tiny change in your life can make significant, massive changes overall. And so for somebody who's wanting to get up earlier, I would suggest you just set your alarm for 5 minutes earlier. You're like, no, I'm doing it for an hour. And that's fine. You could do that. That's great. You're a beast. And I appreciate that. But why not do it just 5 minutes earlier so that you can get up and spend time with the Lord that morning? Because instead of saying, all right, tomorrow I'm starting my devotionals, I'm getting up super early and I'm doing it, and then you don't do it because you set your alarm to wake you up at 3 a.m. versus 6 a.m. Look, just make small changes and then eventually you'll get there. You'll get to where it is that you want to be. I mean, waking up just a few minutes earlier to read that devotional is a game changer because over the next weeks, the months, and years, those tiny shifts are going to lead to crazy different destinations in your life, especially when it comes to spending time with the Lord. Like just a little shift. Like you don't have to go and buy the biggest, thickest devotional and the biggest, thickest Bible and I'm going to make this change and I'm going to read through the Bible 7 times this year. And those are great goals. But when we get down to it, what we end up doing is we look back on these goals that we set and we start having regret and shame and we're upset because we didn't do what we set out to do. And what I'm loving about the people that I'm getting to work with is that because of these small changes they're making in their life, they're waking up. For some of them, their goal is they want to wake up early and spend time in the Word, and then they want to go and just move for 30 minutes. And what I'm seeing is because of these small changes for some of them over the last few weeks, man, it's neat to hear what God is doing in their life. For one of them, because of them getting up early in the morning, or a little bit earlier, just 10 minutes early in the morning, they're diving in the Word, and then God's been doing some great things in their life, even so much to where they've started going to a men's group. They invited somebody else to go with them for a men's group, and they've been going to that church for years and has never attended a group on a Wednesday night. And now they are. It is incredible. And that has nothing. I mean, me, yes, a little bit walking alongside of them, encouraging them, helping them, kind of getting out of some mental funk, and then them making the changes in their life to be able to go and do that. And because of those small changes over time, they are going to see huge differences over their life. And I'm just curious, for those that are watching right now, what changes have you made in your life over time? and put a comment like what is something that you have done, you have made a big change, or not a big change, just a small change in your life that has led to massive results. I'm just really curious, those that are watching. And if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, man, I'm so glad you're watching. But I would also encourage you, flip over to YouTube and watch it. You're gonna get a better experience on there. And you're also gonna get updated content that I post, and would love to have you on my YouTube. So for you, what are some changes that you have made in your life? Because man, the power of those small changes is massive. And when you set a realistic goal, this is also something I work with my clients with. When we set realistic goals, it is so amazing when we hit those goals. For example, when I work with people, I'm not saying, hey, you need to go out and run, 9 miles on Friday or 9 miles this week. Truly, it's just go move 2 or 3 times this week for 30 minutes. Y'all watch out for Lucy behind there. She's trying to get up in the shot. But it's just about moving your body a little bit. And that small change of getting up first, and then getting in the Word, and then moving, man, those small changes over time are massive. Or like swapping unhealthy snack, which they're so good, unhealthy snacks are so good, for a piece of fruit each day. I mean, that is a massive change. That is a huge change for some people. And I'm not saying all day long, maybe just at night when those cravings hit, you know what I'm saying? And they hit and you're like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, there's a basketball game on and I am wanting some ice cream. Okay, good. Why don't you save that for Friday? On the rest of the days, why don't you go get some frozen blueberries and put it in some yogurt? Like, that small change over that week would be massive. And then on Friday, like, I'm crushing some ice cream. Man, that's awesome. You deserve it. You deserve it. And I would do that. And man, even when it comes to your spiritual life, just sitting down and instead of like, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to read an entire book of the Bible, those are good goals. What if you just spent a minute in prayer and be okay with it? Because what happens is we get on social media and we see all these things and we hear all these things. And most of the time, these people who are doing these things, man, they're awesome. They're incredible. They're incredible. But they've been making small changes over time in their life versus immediate. You're not seeing the immediate change. You're seeing small things that they did over time, where they are writing devotionals and they are in the Word every day. It's because they made the small changes. And so with you, let's not look at people where they are. Let's think about where they came from. Where'd they come from? For me, you're looking at somebody who came from 225, 230 pounds, who was in a deep, dark, depressive state, who didn't want to be alive, who had to go to intense counseling, who had to work really, really hard and dig up my past. And I started to really dive into therapy and started to move my body and started to run and started to get in the Word. This has taken years of time. 2019 for me was when this really all started. And now what's so cool is I would have never thought in my darkest, deepest crap that I was in, that I now be helping people on the other side of a screen through virtual coaching and helping people get out of the funk or to see light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes people are like, man, I want to do those things. Well, it takes time to get there. And it does take time. I mean, I was supposed to have counseling this morning. I go to counseling. I am going every other week. Well, right now I'm going every week. And I'm never going to ask somebody to do what I'm not willing to do myself. And this morning I was supposed to go to counseling. It didn't happen because of the roads and all the stuff, and it was super bummer. I'm making it up in 2 days. It's all good, but I am going to counseling. I'm still in process. I'm still working, and I'm still trying to be the best I can, because truly, if I want to coach other people, I need to go and be coached. And so it's that compound effect that sometimes we see on Instagram. We see these people like jacked and they're strong, and then they're selling like all the things. And the truth is, it took time for them to get there. And those products and those things are probably going to work, but it's also, when you get those products and those things, it's going to take time. It's going to be a compounding effect of consistently making 2% changes that lead to significant transformation. And we got to just overcome the all or nothing mindset. It's all or nothing. And I know, like, I'll do some running videos and I'm like running like, yeah, you gotta get up at 2 a.m. And the truth is, when I'm doing those videos, I feel so hyped. I do. I feel so hyped because I'm up, I'm running, man, my blood is pumping, my endorphins or whatever are going, and I'm just like, come on everybody, and it fires me up. But the truth is, one small step counts versus all the different steps. I mean, every 2% that you make, every 2% change is a victory. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about progress. And remember that. What's the progress that you're making right now? Again, I would love to see it in the chat. I would love to see what are some progress, what's a small step that you have taken in your life and you've seen great results from it. I would love to hear that. What is it? Because every small step counts. Every small step. I mean, again, like I've said, I have one client who she started to wake up just 15 minutes earlier because she realized that if she doesn't get up earlier and spend time with the Lord, then when her kids wake up, it's over. And she needs the Lord when her kids wake up. So, but she's made this small change, and I'm kind of helping her with that and helping her, stay accountable with that. And it's been amazing. And now she's not as harsh at times with her kids. She's not beating them down with her words and annoyed and all the things. Now it still happens. Even if you spend time with the Lord, those things are still going to happen, but it's a lot less because you have spent time with him, and then you're moving your body, you're getting your workout in, whatever that looks like for you. And because of this, she is seeing her relationships with her husband and with her kids change because of the small change that she's making in her life. And it's been really neat to walk with her and to see that change. Her mood and her energy is just so much higher. It's seriously awesome. Those little wins have added up. So, man, I just think about the long-term impact that you want. So if I were to sit down with you today, I would ask this question. I would say, a year from now, if we were on the phone and we were talking, what would you tell me? And it would have to be like present tense where you are. And so this is what I do in some of my coaching sessions. I would ask the question, where do you want to be a year from now? And so we would role play, okay? I would say, all right, I called you, here you are. What are you saying? And man, you're just going off about where you are in your life in a great, great way. And it's because you made those small changes over time that got you there. Versus sometimes we make these massive changes and we start to feel regret and we start to feel shame and we start to get upset because those changes we didn't follow through with. And then we feel like, man, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to do it. And then we just go backwards. And I want you to know, 2 steps forward and 1 step back is okay because you have made 2 steps forward.